Hey, what's going on, friends? Welcome to another episode of the Trevor Ohlsen Show, episode number 4 on September 30th. I am your host, Trevor Ohlsen. How you doing, man? Guys, doing good. Good? You guys hanging in there? Did you, I'm sorry, I'm on my phone. I gotta pull something up really quick. Where'd it go? Here we go. There we go. Did you guys watch the debate last night? Beautiful. It was so refreshing to see our nation's leaders engage in such civil discourse and eloquent dialogue and no interruptions, and wow, it was just so refreshing. It was so beautifully done. Oh, wait a second. It was a shit show, as that woman on CNN said. That was so funny afterwards. Just to hear this woman off on CNN, on cable television, to be like, that was a shit show. I'm sorry, folks, if that offends you, but we're allowed to say that on cable, and I just have to say, I have to call it out for what it is, and it was just a shit show. A fucking shit show. She didn't say that, but that was the vibe I was getting from it. And she was right, because it was a nightmare. My God. After consuming all these podcasts that I do, guys like Rogan, I always say him, but because his podcast is my favorite. But all these other guys, it's like they let their guest speak, they don't interrupt, and they hear each other's points and perspectives, and then the other person talks, and then they engage their points and perspectives, and it's an actual dialogue, and there's actual progress made typically in the conversation. So, I mean, last night's debate, it was just preposterous, I would say. But it is what it is. So what are you going to do about it? Right? We got crazy fucking Donnie boy who's a fucking crazy guy. And then we got, dying Biden who's looking frail and spooning children. To be honest, yeah, as far as like politics, this is the most engaged I've been in ever. But I am 25 now, and I just want to be a bit more cognizant about the political spectrum, because I want to understand what's going on. But I've always just shied away from it entirely, because I just found it to be so disingenuous and so gross, and just this game of money and favors, and I just was not a fan from it when I started to sort of pay a little more attention to it when I was younger, and then I steered clear of it up until honestly this year. But the country is in such fucking disarray that I feel like I should have a better understanding of what's going on. So here's my opinion as far as like Donald Trump. He can be an asshole for sure. Like, I think he has an unparalleled narcissism about him. But at least with him, I know he's an asshole, and I know he has an unparalleled narcissism. Like, he hasn't changed in the past 4 years. Like, he's just never been, he's not different. He's always just been a fucking psycho. And then with Biden, I just feel like he just seems so like frail and weak. And I know that there's all those mental slip-ups that everyone's making fun of him for, but I kind of just feel bad for him. Like, I don't know. And he just comes off as kind of weak, especially in comparison to Donald, who's definitely a guy who's all about power and everything. I'm not saying I support or agree with Donald Trump at all. I'm just saying it how I'm viewing it. Like, Donald seems like this fucking authoritarian, crazy person, and Joe's, Biden seems like he's on the way out, and he seems almost like a puppet to me, kind of like pulling the strings. It's like, why wouldn't they take, what was that that woman's name? Tulsi, is it Tulsi Gabbard? I don't know. I think that was her. But she was like so qualified, and she served twice overseas, if I'm not mistaken. She's like articulate, she's intelligent, she's the perfect candidate for it. She's I think she's technically a minority, and she's a woman. It's like she's everything the Democratic Party wants, but for some reason they pick Biden to be the guy, and so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, again, it's almost just like the lesser of two evils, because like, especially with the whole KKK thing, when Donald Trump didn't condemn it, it's like, dude, just what the fuck? Like, you're not gonna I don't know. I'd actually have to go back and see what he exactly said. So anything far right on the extreme side and anything far left on the extreme side, I don't like either. It's like on the far right, we've got like on the extreme far right, we've got fucking like racists, and then on the extreme far left, we've got like hyper progressive people who want to implement laws that and impose these laws that regulate free speech and all this shit. And it's like, hey, let's just all get along. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Let's fucking chill out and relax. It's like, hey, let's chill out a bit. But so that was sort of my take on last night's debate. I don't know when the next one is. Like I said, I'm not too focused on it all, but I'm sure I'll probably watch the next one, and I'm sure you guys probably will too. So hopefully it's a bit more adult-like, because it seemed like two fucking bickering children. But yeah, whatever. How was your week? How was your week on a positive note? My week, I hope it's been good. My week's been good. Last couple days, Monday, Tuesday, I just did a lot of like business stuff, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that needs to get done when, excuse me, when you don't realize that you're gonna, my God, sorry. It's like I need to either not fucking eat or drink anything before I podcast or what. I don't know if I just have like a gas problem. I always have to burp. I don't know. But fucking deal with it. So last couple of days, yeah, you have to do things that when when you're like 14 and you say, I want to be a musician, what you're essentially saying is, okay, you're going to be an entrepreneurial businessman. That's what you're saying. And so I was just doing a lot of behind the scenes stuff last couple of days regarding like search engine optimization with my website and public observability as far as my Patreon page and everything like that. So yeah, it was just probably like in the last 2 days, like 12 hours total, which isn't that much, but it's a lot. It was kind of like soul sucking after 2 days. Like it was, we celebrated my sister's boyfriend, Shane, the man who impregnated my sister. We celebrated his birthday yesterday, and I was just tired and worn out, and I was starving. I was, I thought about going for a run beforehand, but I didn't make it just because I was doing shit. I was like, well, this really needs to get done, and I don't necessarily need to run. I'm already sore from push day on Monday, so yeah. But it was fun yesterday. I got there after, so what was I saying? Yeah, so last couple of days, just got a bunch of shit done that needed to get done. And I was even thinking, I was like, what am I going to fucking talk about on the podcast? I was like, just doing this boring shit for the last 2 days straight, have nothing interesting to speak of. But I always find things to talk about. I make silly voices. And I could talk like this the whole time. You guys are so special. I'm always stretching on the podcast too. There we go. A little water. I filled up my water bottle. We got a new faucet, and I can never remember which way is hot and which way is cold because there's not a clear identifier of red and blue or H or C. And so I filled up my water bottle, which is essentially a thermos it retains things that are hot and cold. And I filled it up with boiling hot water, and there's steam pouring out of the thermos right now. So I'm drinking essentially boiling hot water. But warm water, fun fact, is actually very good for your vocal cords. Not hot water necessarily, but but warm water. So that's why when if you see a lot of singers, that's why they drink tea, and honey is good for. I think honey has some anti-inflammatory properties, which might be good for the vocal cords as well. But yeah, that's why when you see a lot of people, singers or people who just do a lot of voice work, they're always taking care of their voices. Like, you have to do so much if you're essentially gonna use your voice as your career, whereas I do it for singing and podcasting, or if you're a commentator or a comedian or just a public speaker, you have to really take care of your voice, otherwise you can blow out your vocal cords. So even before I start this podcast every day, I do vocal warm-ups. It's like 2 minutes, just something to warm the voice up, because I record these at around 10 a.m. and I haven't really talked that much. And so my voice is kind of rough sounding. I got that southern drawl in the morning. And yeah, so you got to take care of your voice, man. It so much goes into it. As far as after shows too, you should warm down, cool down, whatever you want to call it, warm down, cool down. You have to be hydrated, drinking lots of water. You should be working out so that because stress can totally alter your vocal cords. You shouldn't necessarily be yelling, because yelling's not that great for your vocal cords, unless you're doing it with proper technique. And then that's the whole thing. It's one of those rabbit holes again that you can go down, and just like everything else. In other news, I'm very excited about having some guests on this show. As much fun as I have just talking into the mic and talking with you guys, because I have been having fun. It's been a blast. Pardon me. I want to have guests on. I was at my cousin's cabin on, when was this? I marked it in Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday. He invited me out to the corn maze thing that I was telling you about. That goes on for a couple weekends. And he asked me if I could bring my drone out and get some cool footage. And so I did that and went out there and got some great shots, awesome shots. And I'll probably do that this week, edit a little promotional video together for them, just so that they can use to promote it and get it out there. But man, like, I fucking love that drone. It is so cool. And I said I potentially messed it up when I crashed it. I crashed it into my camp. And it was kind of flying funny, like just wobbling in the wind a bit and just doing weird things. And I was like, oh no, I wrecked it. I wrecked my drone. But thankfully, I just replaced one of the blades, because there was one blade that was scuffed up, and it looked so minimal damage-wise. And I was like, that can't be affecting the flight. But then I replaced it, and it flew great. So no problems, no issues. And yeah, got some great footage. So maybe I'll even post that online for you guys to see it as well, or on Patreon, or on my socials to see it, but maybe not. So you might fucking never see it. So after that, though, after the corn maze, my cousin invited me out to the cabin, which is just a few miles down the road from where we both live. We live up near each other. And so we cruised on down there, and it was me, Eric, and yeah, just me and Eric, and we were hanging out, bullshitting and playing guitar, and just, he's a great conversationalist, so we always have a great time talking. And then all of a sudden, we see a flashlight in the distance, and we were like, oh shit, who's this? And then Shane, my sister's boyfriend, ended up walking down, and he was like the last person I expected to see showing up at the cabin in the middle, when it was getting dark, because we didn't even tell him that we were there. So my mom was actually watching his daughter, Rose. My God, you guys just must love all the fucking noises I make. Just thanks for tuning in. Okay. So my mom was watching my niece, and she was happy to watch it for a bit, and she said, oh, the boys are down at the cabin. And so he walked on down, drove down and then walked down, and we hung out, and the three of us were all together, and we all, just vibing, having a great time, laughing. And I was like, if we just had 3 mics on us right now, it'd be perfect. And we could do it. We could put it on the podcast. And so I want to personally thank my friend Gene, who funded some equipment for the podcast and for music, because I can use it both for music and the podcast. But I ordered a couple more preamps, they're called. Basically, with the system I have an API lunchbox, which is, again, a silly name for musical equipment. And I have a 512C preamp in it. And basically, you just have to, a preamp is just, it's a preamplifier. You have to, get a little preamplifier for your mic. And the way this system is set up, it's very specific. So I had to get a couple more preamplifiers so that I could plug 2 more mics in, so that we could have all good quality audio production wise. So ordered the preamps yesterday. Should have them here October 1st, and then I'm gonna start having guests on. And I've already got a list of people, and I'm super excited about it. I just want it to feel like hang out, just conversation, a nice civil dialogue, like Donald and Joe. But very excited that, and thank you, Gene, for funding that equipment. Gene's a good friend of mine, and he's also a sponsor. He's a sponsor. So, a little water here. A little boiling hot water. I got to do some laundry today. I was going to do it this morning before I started this podcast, but my fucking mom beat me to it. So she's got some shit in there right now, so I got to do that after, but that's all right. I wanted to talk to you guys about some other things. What was it I wanted to talk to you about? Let's talk about all sorts of stuff. Had a little brook trout last night for dinner. Good brook trout. It was excellent. I don't know if you guys have never had brook trout. That was a monkey imitation, by the way. But brook trout is, it's got to be, well, it's for sure top 3 favorite fish. The way it's prepared. My mom prepares it a little different than my dad. I prefer my dad's preparation over my mom's. So basically, what you do is, first off, you go off, you catch a brook trout, and then you get it home. And then a lot of people will cook the fish whole, and then I need to blow my nose. Hold on, folks. I gotta grab something. I gotta grab a hanky. I know what you're thinking. You're gonna blow your nose into a hanky? That's disgusting. Yes, I agree. But here's the thing. This podcast is transparent. It's live. It's in the moment. And I don't feel like going all the way to the bathroom. Actually, there's not even Kleenex in the bathroom. There's toilet paper. So I grabbed a hanky. All right. There we go. Nice little segue for the show. Don't worry, I'm feeling fine. I don't have COVID. So you get your brook trout, and then you fillet it up. And I watched my dad fillet it. And I've never actually done it myself, but you fillet it up, get out a couple of the bones, because some of the bigger ones, and then it's funny because you can eat a lot of the bones, because the little bones, they just melt. They melt when you cook it, essentially. And yeah, we cook it in a bunch of butter. Oh my God, this is a grotesque podcast. We cook it in a lot of butter, and that's the way my dad does. Cooks it in a bunch of butter, little olive oil maybe, and then you have it. So as soon as the fish hits the pan, it's got that nice sizzle. You don't want it to hit the pan and have to warm up, because it'll kind of be soggy. You just want it to hit the pan sizzling. Cook it about 4 minutes each side, and you're good to go. And it's super simple, and it's excellent. And then as far as the fillet, I forgot to mention, you fillet it, and then my dad whips up a couple eggs, puts the fillets in the eggs, kind of stirs it around, and then he puts breadcrumbs on all of it, and excellent. So if you guys never had that, it's very, very good. I would definitely recommend it. I don't know if brook trout you can just go out and buy, but then again, I've never looked at the stores, and I've only ever had brook trout that my dad has caught. So, but he is a brook trout fanatic. Are we still recording? There we go. Good. My computer's being weird. My computer is pissing me off lately. It works good, but and it's brand new, but it's, I don't know. Anyway, besides the point. But my dad is a brook trout fanatic. He always jokes about he's gonna die out there in his old age. He said the other night, he's like, I'm gonna be 93. You're gonna find my body in the river, hand up in the air, thumbs up, probably a Budweiser with him saying life is good. And I was like, oh, that sounds nice. It's a nice little morbid way to go out. No, it'd be great. You go out like that, doing something you love. I don't know how I'd like to die. Well, I'd like to die of just old age asleep like that. Be like 100, see what happens, see what's up till I'm 100. And then, yeah, just go in your sleep. That'd be nice. But then again, there's something about like young people dying, and I don't want to die. I want to live life, but there's something about like people who live a good, well, I was going to say something like Jimi Hendrix or all these people who are part of the 27 Club, but they always die of like drug overdoses and all this crazy shit. But there is something about never having to necessarily like suffer or lose your mind with, from dementia or Alzheimer's or something like that. There's something to it. I'm actually worried about getting Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that because my grandma had it, and I don't know. That's like a big fear of mine. I don't want to fucking develop that shit when I get older. So I do everything I can to stay healthy. And as far as keeping your brain healthy, the only thing that we actually know, I say we like I'm a part of the scientists. The only thing that scientists know, the thing that I know, my hypothesis. The hypothesis that scientists have posited, as they say, is that the only actual way of maintaining your IQ, and your IQ actually starts to decline at 20. Yeah, take that in. That's nice. Isn't that good to know? It gets stupider from 20 onward. But that's not true either, because, I mean, you can, I don't know. Is that true? Because, well, they say your IQ starts dropping at 20. And the only way to maintain it and to keep it from dropping, it's not these fucking Lumosity apps. It's the only thing that those apps have shown is that you can get good at the app. Like you can get good at the game you're playing, but then it doesn't necessarily roll over into any other aspect of your life that involves critical thinking. So it's just kind of like you get better at the game. But if I get to the point here, the only thing that helps maintain your IQ is physical exercise. So weightlifting and cardiovascular exercise in particular. And they think that that helps because of just the increased blood flow. Like your brain needs a lot of oxygen. It's another reason why I do those breathing exercises each morning. It's good for your brain. The Wim Hof method that I do, if you guys want to check that out, it's WIMHOF. Type him in. He's a crazy person, the Iceman, as they say. But yeah, isn't that funny? It's kind of funny because there's that classic narrative of weightlifters are just a bunch of like meatheads and they're stupid, and I don't think that's necessarily the narrative now. Just because fitness is so much more publicly praised, and taking care of ourselves is so much more part of the conversation. Like no one was weightlifting 50 years ago. I mean, there was the bodybuilders like Arnold, but as far as like a majority, like most people were not weightlifting. They actually thought weightlifting was bad for you, which is quite funny. So it's amazing what we've learned just in the last. Well, if we go to when was Arnold famous? Was that the six? That wasn't that sick. Was it the 60s? That seems like a long time ago. I'll look it up here. Yeah, whenever I click on my Google Chrome icon, it fucking it just bounces like it's on a like a fucking trampoline, and then it'll eventually open. It probably has to do with that stupid Bing virus. I don't know, but we'll see here. But yeah, people used to think, man, that weightlifting was bad for you, and that's just so funny because we just know that's not the case. It increases bone density, it increases muscle strength, it prevents testosterone from it increases testosterone, especially in older men, and because you start to lose testosterone at the age of 40, it starts to kind of rapidly decline, and that's because your body's saying you had your chance at fucking all these broads, and now you're done. You're done from here. That's kind of funny how we have a cycle, just like any other animal. It's like we have our prime, so to speak, of mating, of mating with each other. What a weird way to look at it. As far as just kind of a funny way to look at it when you think of us just like animals. We're just like hairless talking monkeys, essentially. Yep, site can't be reached. Go fuck yourself, computer. Okay, never mind. We have horrible internet. And I lose my mind temporarily a little bit every day because I try to work every day because I'm an adult. And I have to fucking go into town after this just to upload this podcast because we're living in the 18th century. It is preposterous. It is absurd. I need to sign up for the fucking Elon Musk's Starlink. Is that what it's called? My cousin mentioned it to me. I'll have to look that up. Something about insanely fast global Wi-Fi. And that's what it should be, man. And if like Wi-Fi should just be available for the world and it should be free. And I know that sounds crazy but if anyone could do it, it'd be Elon. And there's something, I guess you can sign up for like a beta, whatever that means, beta thingy majigger. And you can sign up and it's something like $1 a month because they're testing it. But I have traveled the country and my phone works great everywhere except here. And it makes me want to shoot something. And that's why I bought a gun. And so I shoot targets because I'm so furious. That's not why I bought the gun. I'm very concerned about the direction of the country, and civil war could be right around the corner, so don't fuck with me. But it's like I come upstairs, bitch to my mom about the Wi-Fi, and then I say, how many times have I bitched about this? And I don't know. I shouldn't even be complaining. It's so minimal. It's not even a real problem. I just head into town and get some good Wi-Fi, go hang out with my sister, do it. It's not a big deal. But I think we're doing that NMU Wi-Fi thing now that in the area. I think I might have mentioned this on the last podcast or the Patreon one or whatever. But NMU's doing some tests. I think it's pretty legitimate now. They were doing some testing Wi-Fi in the area for people who weren't necessarily getting the best signal or connection with their Wi-Fi, because ours blows. Like, it sucks. And so if our neighbor has it and and they're doing well, theirs works. So my dad is I believe we're gonna sign up for that. But he's out fishing, and he's one to think about things, and he takes his sweet time. He does. Both my parents, they like to think things through. Or, no, it's not even that. I'm being too nice. They'll have an idea, and then they won't do it for like years. Where like this sauna, if I didn't buy the sauna, but to be fair, the sauna was my idea. But I don't know. They take their sweet fucking time with everything, and I gotta get on my dad and be like, get out of this Brooks, get out of the water, and come give us some Wi-Fi so I can work, eventually move out. You're sick and tired of me. Why? Why are you sick and tired of me, Dad? Yeah. So can't wait to get some good Wi-Fi. That would be a fucking relief. Did not work on the album at all this week so far, just because I've been, like I said, I was busy doing that search engine optimization stuff. I did start a new book, another new one. It's good, and it's a story about the guitarist. He was the lead guitarist of Korn. What a funny band name, Korn, with a K. Any Korn fans out there? Let me know. I'll get back. Yeah, so essentially, it's I think it's called "Save Me from Myself," and I just started it, and it's an autobiography of his time with Korn, his heavy drug use, and then his conversion to Christianity, and how that saved his life. Good so far, nothing crazy. Like I said, I'm on the second chapter, something like that, and so he's just kind of introducing his childhood and shit like that. He talked about how he smoked a joint, and it was like 2:30 in the afternoon, and then the next time he looked at the clock, and he hadn't moved, and he thought it had been like 5 minutes. It was 6:15, and his dad was home, and he was like, "Oh fuck." So he sat. He was in a lawn chair out by his pool. He sat there for 4 straight hours, high as fuck. I did that once. I took one hit off a joint with my buddy Anthony, and I just fucking disappeared for 4 hours. It was not good, and I don't really like weed. I've tried it maybe like 10 times, and over the course of quite a few years, and it just gives me a anxious feeling. I just get anxious. I get stressed out. I don't like it. I don't. I'd much rather have a drink. Like, drinking relaxes me, and I actually like alcohol. But I'm closing in on day 150 here of being completely sober. And it's funny, whenever I bring that up, people are like, did you have a problem? I act all concerned. It's like, no, I didn't have a problem. I'm just taking a break. Jeez, settle down. But the only time that I actually enjoyed smoking weed, was the first time I ever smoked it in college, when I was like 18 or 19. I think it was 19. And I think I actually enjoyed it because it was a blunt, and so there was tobacco in there too. I didn't even know what a blunt was. I didn't know that that's what that meant. And so I smoked weed. I got some in my fucking eye. These podcasts. And I think I enjoyed it. Well, I did. I enjoyed it initially, and I think it was because I got the head rush from the tobacco, not necessarily from the weed. So I've never really liked weed. I'm all for it. I think it should be legal, like it is legal here in Michigan. I think it should be legal everywhere. If I know the benefits for a lot of people. It's just not for me, but I'm all for it. Could give a fuck if people are smoking weed. People are smoking cigarettes and drinking booze. That's a crazy drug to legalize. But I like that too. I think everything should be legal. Yeah, and all these people who are spending 30 years in prison for selling a joint, that's not right, as far as I can tell. But yeah, I was going somewhere with that. Where was I going? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Oh, well, since I've lost my train of thought, I hope you guys, again, have been enjoying the shows. If you'd like to reach out to the show, and I hope that you will, please shoot me an email. Shoot me your thoughts, your messages, your comments, your nudes to the Trevor Ohlsen Show at gmail.com. I'd love to hear from you and eventually do a segment where I'm interacting with you guys one-on-one. Eric, supporter on Patreon, reached out to me, and he had sent this big fucking novel of an email. But I appreciate you, Eric. Thanks a lot for messaging the show. If you guys want to hear that, you can hear that exclusively on Patreon. But yeah, please reach out to the show. I'd love to hear from you guys and do a segment where I am talking and asking, or where I'm talking with you guys and answering all your questions and everything. Also, if you'd like to support the podcast, you guys can head over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen, and you can support monthly, your choice of $3, $5, or $10 per month. This is just the ideal way for me to monetize the podcast so I can actually keep doing it. So the financial support will help sustain episodes and just help me make a fucking living. Because I want to make a living doing this and doing music and doing other forms of entertainment for y'all. So head over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen. You'll also gain access to the exclusive bonus Patreon episodes, which comes out weekly. I think I'm doing those on Sundays. So free, a bonus, rather, Patreon episode weekly every Sunday. You can gain access to that by supporting the show for $3, $5, or $10 per month. Obviously, 10 would be best for me, but whatever you guys can afford. I know people are struggling. Times are tough right now with COVID and everything going on. So any support that you guys can give, any spreading of the word to your friends if you guys like the show, anything like that is a major help. So I would appreciate that very much. Again, reach out to the show, the Trevor Ohlsen Show @gmail.com. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, be sure to head over and give it a 5-star rating and a good review. Make sure you're following me on Spotify, following the show rather on Spotify, following the show on the new YouTube channel, the Trevor Ohlsen Show. So it's also up on SoundCloud. And I think I'm going to keep doing that. I don't know. I think I'll keep doing it on SoundCloud. You got to pay for that one. Not you guys. I would have to pay for it, which is not a big deal, but yeah. But yeah, as far as Patreon, that's your ideal way to support the show, and it's the biggest bang for your buck, as the promoters would say. Because, like I said, you'll gain access to those exclusive episodes, which are only available on Patreon, and it would directly support the show, which directly supports me. And like I said, if we had 1,000 Patreon supporters in the community participating, even at $3, that'd be $36,000 a year, which I'll do all right with that around here. But yeah, that would be excellent. So please, if you can support, go on and do that. Join the community, friends. Join the community join our ever-growing community of Patreon supporters. But yes, the sauna, in other news, should be coming here soon. I've talked about this in other episodes, but I'm so excited for it to get here. It's the 30th today. Can you guys believe that it's already October? That is so crazy. I remember, I don't know, man, these fucking years just fly by. It's so nuts. That's why I try to work really hard on each day, and enjoy each day, just because I'm starting to realize how fast everything goes. It's like I'm already 25. It's crazy. But the sauna should be here at the earliest, October 10th, at the latest, the 26th. So all I know is that it's going to be here within a month's time at the latest. I am super pumped for it. I can't wait. I can't wait. And I just can't wait to have people over and like have my cousins over and friends over, and just for the whole family to be able to get in there, because it's a 6-person one. We ordered it from Redwood Outdoors. They're based out of, I think, Washington. And yeah, Canadian redwood cedar, electric heater. We gotta hire an electrician still, and we gotta fucking add supports to the deck that it's gonna be on, because it has to support at least 1,000 pounds. So we got a job to do coming up. Maybe do that this weekend, but I also have to record the episodes, so we'll figure out a day to do it. But me and my dad we'll go out, hopefully put support beams. My mom doesn't want it on the deck, but she wants it more behind the house. But we'd have to get like a slab probably, and maybe like a drain, and that would just be more money and work. So it'd be, as far as work and money, it'd be more affordable just to do it on the deck, because we've already got a nice level foundation, essentially. Just add a couple support beams so that it can for sure support 1,000 pounds. I'm sure it would already be fine now. Because I'm a woodworking genius and I understand support beams and weight distribution. But yeah, I can't wait just to be cooking myself in that thing every day. I'm going to be in there 4 or 5 days a week, every week, forever. I'm going to live forever. I'm going to have so many heat shock proteins coursing through my body. I don't even know what those are, but I can just repeat it back to you. I'm very good at that. I know they're good for you. I know they stop something along the lines of they stop cells from dying. So I know I've mentioned the benefits of sauna before, but there's so many. It's like you're getting a moderate cardiovascular workout. It's great for your skin. Everyone always just says it expels the toxins. And then if you ask them like what toxins, they freeze up because it's like what the fuck do you know about? I don't even know what a fucking toxin is. What's a toxin? Send me an email of a specific toxin to the Trevor Ohlsen Show. Now I know a lot of people say like it's good for hangovers and it's good for alcohol. If you're drinking alcohol and then you sauna, they're like you sweat it out. It's like, well, maybe how about you just fucking settle down with the booze and drink a reasonable amount like an adult instead of like you're doing fucking keg stands back in your college days when you're 43. It's I don't understand it. Well, I do understand it. Let's not be high and mighty, Trevor. Don't be a dick, Trevor. No, I get why people drink alcohol. Life can be, especially if life's tough. Like if you're going through a lot of shit, and it's just easy to fall into that pattern of, oh, I'm stressed out and not having a great day. I'll have a drink, and in the moment, it sounds like an excellent idea, and it's fun, and it does help release stress. But then that's just like a bad road to go down, as far as I'm concerned. You know, fast forward 20 years, it's like, well, for one, you're going to build a tolerance, so you're going to be drinking more and more as the years go on, just to anesthetize yourself. Is that the word? Anesthetize? I like that word. That's what you can say if you want to sound smart. And to someone who's taking drugs and alcohol and they've got like a problem, like, why would you want to anesthetize yourself and not be present for your life? You have a problem. Yeah, but I get it. Life's tough, but I will say using it responsibly, that's all I'll say on that. We all know that. We all know we shouldn't fucking drink too much. Picked up some, on the way to Shane's yesterday for his little birthday bash. Speaking of alcohol, he got so much booze for presents. It's so funny. I think everyone got him alcohol except me. And he had, I think, like 4 or 5 bottles of different whiskeys. And then I bought him 50 rounds for his shotgun. And so when he opened my present, which, by the way, it was in a little paper bag that I found in our basement with no wrapping paper around it and like no paper blocking it. So it was clearly, I'm just proud of myself that I went back to the basement and I found a bag. I was just going to hand him 50 rounds and be like, happy birthday. At least I had a little bag for him. But when I'm a dude. What are you going to do? Guys could give a shit. But when he pulled out the rounds, I was like, see, now you can get drunk and shoot stuff. And his buddy Bruce, who I'm friends with as well. Bruce mentioned to me about us going out, like him, me, Shane, my cousin Eric, maybe my dad, a couple other of his friends talked about going out to one of the farms here and doing a pheasant hunt. And everyone kind of pitched in $100. Go out, we can get like 25 birds, and I don't know, have some beers and non-alcoholics for me. Have some beers and nice little dinner afterwards as well. So I've never done that. I've never done the farm thing ever. I've never done a farm hunt. Never shot a pheasant. Shot a lot of grouse, but I told him, I was like, I am absolutely in, because that sounds like a blast. It'd be super fun as far as just a bunch of guys getting together, bunch of guns, bunch of birds, bunch of food. I guess they supply you with dogs as well. I'm not sure where we're going or when or anything yet, but all I know is that it sounds like a great fucking time. And I'm definitely gonna go do that, and I'll keep you guys posted on it. Yeah, I don't know if you can. I think you can eat pheasant. I'm sure you can. That might sound very lazy on my part as far as not knowing, but I don't know. I'd look it up, but we're living in the 18th century. Don't actually have good Wi-Fi. The album is coming along. I didn't work on it at all this week. Well, it is only Wednesday, but like I said, all the shit that needed to get done, I focused on that instead. But I was listening back to the tracks, and they're sounding really good. I am super pumped, and a couple collaborations going on with a couple different people, and Spotify numbers are up. I'm up to like 35,000 monthly listeners, which is awesome. Excited to see that continue to grow. If you're not following me on Spotify as far as music, head over there and follow me there as well, friends. Follow me everywhere. We can do this shit together. I'm looking back outside, and it's not sunny. I have been kind of being a baby, but I'm fucking all over the place. My God. Like, oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so the album's coming along. It's getting there. It's sounding great. It's my best stuff so far. I can't wait for it to be out, and I can't wait to be done with it because I've been working on it for like 6 months. But I am taking my time with it. I'm not rushing it. I'm getting it as best as I possibly can with the knowledge that I currently have. And yeah. Oh, yeah, and that reminds me. I have a single coming out this Friday. Friday, October 1st, right? Let me see. Is it? No. Friday, October 2nd. Friday, October 2nd. I have a single coming out. It's, if you guys have heard the song Electric that I recently released a few weeks ago, I did an album, like a pop version, and then I did an acoustic version. And I am on Friday the 2nd releasing a live version that I recorded back in January, back when the world had its fucking head on its shoulders, in Minneapolis. I went out there with my buddy Michael, filmmaker Michael Johns, and he filmed me, and I recorded out there with my buddy Taylor Lewin. Taylor's he's a good audio engineer out there, but it was fun. Went to a strip club. That was the last strip club I've been to was January in Minneapolis, and it actually wasn't a strip club. So we went to this place called the Gay 90s, which is a very popular place. Nice name. Very popular place in Minneapolis, and essentially it's this huge building with like 5-6 clubs in it. You walk in, there's this huge open bar space where, I mean, you could fit a few hundred people in there. You walk up a spiral staircase, and then you get to the second floor, and on the second floor there's a bunch of more clubs. So there's like another little bar area, and then there's a drag show space, and then you walk down a hallway and you get to like this techno bar, and there's like a bunch of flashing lights, and there's like strippers on the poles and all that fun stuff. And you get to, I think, and then there's like one other section which I can't really remember. But yeah, a lot of fucking going on in there, I'm sure. But Michael and I were in Minneapolis, and one of the best nights I've ever had, like, it was so fun, was when I was going to college, and I went out there with my sister was in town, so I went out there with her and her boyfriend at the time and his brother and another mutual friend of ours, and we went out there, and it was so fun. We had such a great time, and so I have very fond memories of the Gay 90s. And so when I was there in January with Michael, I was like, we talked about going out. We were staying at my aunt and uncle's, and I was like, we gotta go out. We were tired, and we were like, but we're fucking here. We gotta go out and do it. So we made the drive. It was like 45 minutes. Got to the Gay 90s, and it was Sunday, and But then the first time that I was there, when we had a great time and it was packed and it was crazy, that was also a Sunday. And so I was like, well, maybe it'll be busy. Unfortunately, we got there, and it's in a rough part of Minneapolis. It is. Got there, and not that many people. And we ended up... where'd we go? Well, it was pretty much empty. Not empty, but the busiest space was the drag show area. And so Michael and I sat down, two straight men, which, funny enough, whenever we hung out at bars together, Michael and I, people would always say that thought that we were gay together, which is funny. And I don't know, he got that a lot. There's something about if you're a man and you are like well groomed and you dress nice, people just assume you like blowing other dudes, and that's not the case, folks. I know it's hard to believe, but I haven't sucked one dick my whole life, never done it. But yeah, so Michael and I sit down, two straight dudes, drag show going on, and it was just so funny. Michael seemed so uncomfortable. Not in like a homophobic way, but just in like this is so much different than Iron Mountain way. Like, it was just so funny. So we were like, yeah, let's get out of here, because it wasn't that fun. Like, it wasn't that much going on. And so we walked down the street, and we ended up, where was it? What was it called? I don't even remember what it was called, but it just said Topless Bar, and I was like, well, yeah, let's check it out. Why not? As far as like strip clubs, I've been to a few in Minneapolis. That's the only place I've actually ever been to strip clubs. Have been in Minneapolis. I've been to just, honestly, like one, and I was there like maybe 3 times throughout college and stuff like that. There's something about it, like, if you've never been to one, you're like a guy, like a 18-year-old in college with new guy friends. It's like, yeah, let's go to the strip club. You're trying all these new things. And so, so we ended up, but yeah, and I've never been to, there's a local one around here called the Gold Nugget, but I've heard some horror stories. I'm sure there's horror stories there as well. People probably banging there too. But I've heard not the best things about that place. So I have not popped in. This episode is sponsored by the Golden Nugget. Can you imagine? That'd be funny. So Michael and I walk into this place, Topless Bar place, and walk in. And like I said, it's in a rough part of the neighborhood as well. And we were the only 2 white people in there. I'm not insinuating either that, no, fuck it. I don't even have to explain myself. I'm not saying black people are bad, because I said it's a rough part of the area. We just happen to be the only white people in there, which I thought was very funny. And so we walk in there and sit down at the bar, order some drinks, and we're just kind of hanging out. And this wasn't part of the plan, so we don't have any cash. And it is a bar, but you can also get dances and shit. So we're sitting down, and these lovely ladies are coming up to us, and asking if we want to dance and all this shit. And I'm like, I don't have any cash. I'm sorry. I'm just feeling out of place, because I was like, oh fuck, they're just gonna keep, because they're working, so they want to make money. And so we're hanging out, and this finally. This woman comes up to me for like the 8th time, and she's like, you ready? And I'm like, I don't have any cash. And she's like, I have the Cash App. I'm like, oh, well, great. So I, shit you not, I downloaded the Cash App. I paid this stripper. I got a dance, which was very quick, by the way. It was way too short. Got a dance, paid her through the Cash App, and then later deleted that app up until recently. But this lady was a businesswoman. She's thinking, because all the other ladies, because then once I did that, I was like, oh, I'll just pay him this way. But then all the other strippers, all the other lovely ladies out there having a good old moral time, were like, you want to dance? And I was like, do you have the Cash App? And they're like, no. And I was like, oh, you should get it, because I just paid that one stripper. But yeah, so we were there until like 1:30, 2, something like that, and I had to stop drinking because I had to drive us back. Michael got fucking hammered by the end though. Like right when we left, he was all of a sudden really drunk. So he was like smashed in on the car ride back. But I later looked that place up and there was a fucking murder right where we were sitting, probably. Well, it was right in that bar. Some lady walked in there, if I'm not mistaken, and shot another lady in the head like a few months earlier. Like it was rough. Oh yeah. And I want to tell you one other funny story from that place. It was cracked me up, man. So there was this dude there, and he was clearly a regular. He had a fucking thick stack of ones. Big dude, looking sort of like a pimp, and he, I don't know, he must have noticed me. Well, clearly Michael and I were standing out, the only two fucking white dudes in there. And so sitting down, and he's been paying strippers all night to like dance on him, and he's just like throwing out ones like that, just nice and slow, methodical. $1 bill, $1 bill, $1 bill. It was very funny watching it. And he like looks over at me. We make eye contact, and he like calls up a stripper, and she starts dancing on him, and he shakes his head, and he like smacks her ass, and he's like no, and then he points at me, and this stripper comes over and just starts dancing all over me, and he just walks up, and she's dancing on me, and again he just starts with the methodical, like just $1 bills as the stripper's dancing on me, and I look over at him, and we just sort of look each other in the eye and give each other a little head nod. Oh, it was very funny, just like the way he approached the whole situation and his methodical, steady $1 bill dispersal technique. Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is the show. I appreciate you guys listening. Again, if you'd like to support this podcast, head on over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen, where you can support the show and directly support me so I can fucking move out someday from my parents' basement. Head over to patreon.com/Trevor Ohlsen, or head over to my website. You will see when you'll see a little pop-up thing where you can join the Patreon page, or there's all sorts of different things. If you just head on over to TrevorOhlsen.com, you'll see it. Also, if you head to the podcast section on my website, you'll see a little support here tab, and you can support the show through Anchor as well, which is the distributor. So you won't gain access to the exclusive episode, but you'll still be directly supporting the show in general. So either way, Anchor or Patreon, you can support the show there. And again, if you guys would like to reach out to the show with your comments, with your questions, with your nudes, shoot a message at reach out to us at us like I got a fucking team. Reach out to the Trevor Ohlsen team here. Reach out to the show. Reach out to me at the Trevor Ohlsen Show at gmail.com. I'd love to hear from y'all. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the show, unless, of course, you don't like the show, in which case, fuck you. No, not really. Even if you don't like the show, reach out, say hello. Tell me what you guys want to hear. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Eat some healthy food. Go for a run, go for a jog, order a sauna that takes 6 months to show up, and then put it together yourself, even though you paid $5,000 for it. No, it's not taking 6 months. It's taken like 6 weeks at the latest. Yeah, surround yourself with people who love you. You guys know what you need to do. You know what's good for you. You know what, sorry about that. I think I just bumped the mic. You know what responsibilities you have. Yeah. Just like I do. I gotta fucking show up here every Saturday and Wednesday, and I'm not complaining because it's been a blast. Gotta do that. Gotta just keep making this album. But thanks a lot, guys. I hope you have a great, fantastic rest of your week. I'm literally just trying to drag this on so that the show gets to at least 1 hour. Week. 8 seconds out. All right, we've made it, ladies and gentlemen. Episode number 4. That's a wrap. We will see you next Saturday. You guys have a great rest of your week. Good luck with everything. Reach out to the show. Support the show on Patreon. Reach out to the show at thetrevorolsenshow@gmail.com. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves, and we will see you soon.